The following episode of CarnyCast is sponsored by Skillshare. Stay tuned for a little message from a sponsor later in the episode. Thanks. Okay, let me put the funny on.
You can change your persona?
Hey guys, welcome to my Roblox Hunger Games Let's Play. Today I'm here with my nephew. He's 6 years old. He opens Kinder Surprise eggs and plays with slime on his YouTube channel.
It's true.
Don't you guys love slime?
I love slime. It's true. I sit here all day. I play with two things: my nuts and slime, exclusively at the same time.
Welcome to a Carnival Deluxe podcast, CarnyCast, episode 13, lucky number 13, everyone's favorite number, 13.
My favorite number is 13.
Really?
Took me 13 days to realize that.
Oh, you're so funny.
I'm
you know
gay.
God made the earth in 13 days?
God did not make the earth in 13
That's why
days.
a week is 13 days long.
There's something wrong with your
People
internal
don't
clock.
actually know that. People don't actually know that the week is 13 days long. It goes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Right.
I missed Sunday both times. I just had a stroke. I set myself up for a gag and I missed Sunday. I made sure okay, the second week I had to stop it before Sunday, and I didn't say Sunday the first time, I don't think.
Well, I'm recording with a goddamn Neanderthal.
Okay.
Your brain's been half melted.
The topic I wanted to go to today was, what's the unluckiest thing that ever happened to you? Or just unlucky things that you've witnessed?
I met you.
Because it's unlucky number 13.
That's the unluckiest thing that's ever happened to me.
It was
meeting you.
You reached out to me, not the other way around. Just remember, you did this to yourself.
Well, okay, actual unluckiest thing that's ever happened to me, because meeting you is pretty,
Got
top
my
five.
fingers stuck in the ceiling fan.
Top five.
Five unluckiest anime battles.
Yeah,
Anime deaths.
yeah.
Okay. Oopsie. Andy's computer restarted. Oopsie. Ha ha ha.
Talking about top unluckiest things. My computer resetting as we're recording this is definitely number one right now. What are the chances? What are the chances that on number 13, the unlucky number, right? My computer resets as we're talking about the unluckiest things that's ever happened to us. Tell me, what are the odds of that?
They're pretty good odds.
I think there might be a ghoul in our midst. There might be a little phantom. It's you, a little goblin ghoul.
I am the ghoul. Yeah. What's the actually unluckiest thing that's happened to you? Like something real upsetting, real nasty.
Well, this was upsetting, but
Yeah.
I mean, if I have to talk about another fucking event in my wretched old life, I'm pushing 30.
We need to build. You're fucking 22. I'm 21. We're barely in our 20s. You're not pushing 30.
I'm pushing 40. I'm close to death. I can see the pearly gates.
Mine are all stinky and decrepit. I don't think we're going to the same place when we die.
Whoops. Fuck. I mean, it's such a hard question to answer, right? Because you have to think about sometimes unlucky things can lead to lucky things. Although that doesn't really happen.
The unluckiest thing that happened to me was, I'll tell you right now.
All right.
So it's me and my cousin. I'm down on my luck. I'm pretty broke right now. It's me and my cousin. We live together, and we just bought a lottery ticket, and we scratched it. We buy a lot of lottery tickets. We're trying to get lucky, trying to make some money, trying to make some scratch. Buy one. I scratch it, and it's the winning numbers. Big bucks. Big fucking cash dollar bills right there. I'm like, so we already crossed the street from the gas station. I'm going back to cash in my lottery ticket. I get hit by a car. The lottery ticket flies away. I lose it. It's gone. I'm in the hospital now. This is real. And I almost was almost a millionaire. And I got hit by the car and I lost the number one lottery ticket. And then after that, I realized all the bad deeds I did in my life, just brought up all this bad karma, and I had to change my outlook on life. I need to get better. And I started writing all my wrongs in my past.
Do you think someone cashed out your lottery ticket?
Probably, you know, just my luck, you know.
Just your luck. That's awful. That's you never even told me that story. That's awful.
You want to know why I didn't tell you that story?
That's not real. You son
That's
of a
the pilot
bitch.
to the hit television series. My name is Earl. I wanted to see. I knew you wouldn't know what that show is because, like, I don't know anyone but one friend I knew in high school who used to watch that show, and I watched the pilot, and that's what happens.
I don't want to do this podcast. That's
I wanted to see how far I could get.
I felt so bad. I mean, like, wow. I was like, wow, my friend got his whole life taken away.
No, I don't think anything that bad's happened to me. I think the most unlucky thing that has happened to me was I was playing airsoft, which, if you don't know what that is, it's like paintball, but instead you use like plastic BB guns, and the guns are like electronic, usually instead of gas powered. Some are gas powered. We were playing airsoft with my friends. Hobby I used to have a lot when I was in like late elementary to early high school, and then I was walking backwards and shooting. So I was like I was like backpedaling, like I wasn't looking behind me. I kept shooting because I was trying to get back to wherever my friend was against the other people we were playing against. And I tripped over a log, stuck my left hand out to brace my fall, but like my fingers were pointing forward, so my wrist is where all the weight went, and I just broke my hand.
Oh, that's...
And it was so awkward because I was like, shit. And this is a trend in my entire life where every time I break something, I just walk it off. So I kept playing till eventually, like, I'm trying to like reload my airsoft gun, and like my wrist is just not cooperating with me. I'm like, maybe I gotta go put ice on this. And I'm like, hey guys, stop. I think I sprained my wrist. And I go and put ice on it, and they're like, dude, that looks really swollen. Like, maybe we should like tell like one of our parents or something. Like, maybe we could see if we should go to the hospital. Go to the hospital. I broke my wrist, and I got a cast and everything.
That sucks.
Yeah, that happened. And that's like, that coincided with, I had to stop taking guitar lessons because of that, because I couldn't play guitar with a broken wrist. And then, but I was in like high school band class or whatever. And so I had to keep playing guitar in there with like, my teacher's like, you can still play with a broken wrist. She just made me play, I played guitar left-handed. She made me play it right-handed. So when you play left-handed, your left hand is the one plucking the strings. When you play right-handed, the right hand is plucking the strings, so you hold the guitar with your left hand. So she said it so like you could brace the guitar with your cast and still play the fucking guitar. So it was just the worst combination of like, I broke my wrist, couldn't play the guitar I wanted to play, like how I wanted to play, but in band I had to play it really awkwardly and clumsily. And now everyone in my band class thought I was a shit musician because I'm playing backwards with a fucking broken hand. It was just a whole...
So you're telling me your teacher, right? These are your words. Your teacher is a dirty, rotten bitch, right? That's what you're saying?
I will say, and many people will back me up, she was a bitch.
In fact, right. Okay.
But I get, she was just a very stern, not very nice person, but she was a good teacher, you know? Like she wasn't like, she wanted you to learn something, you were gonna fucking learn it whether you wanted to or not. She was that. Oh, that's my cat. That's another unlucky story we'll share later.
Yeah.
But he just jumped on my desk. But yeah, she was a fucking... So no offense to her. Sure, she was nice outside of school, but she was a motherfucker in class. Whereas like all my friends who were musicians were like, what instrument do we want to play? Oh, we already know these instruments. So we picked them. And she's like, actually, no. So my friend who knew how to play piano got put on guitar. My friend, I knew how to play guitar. I got put on bass, but I had to play with a broken hand. So that was kind of like my punishment. And then my other friend who knew how to play drums had to learn to play fucking saxophone. And we're like,
learning multiple things isn't going to help you. What?
Yeah, I'm like, why the fuck are you making it so much harder for us? Like, don't you want some people in the band to carry the band instead of everyone struggling? Because there's a bunch of people in there who just pick this class for like extra credit. They're like, I got an elective to fill. They pick it. They think it's going to be easy. No, it's fucking hard. It's fucking hard to learn the goddamn saxophone, learn the trumpet, learn the trombone, all that shit. It's difficult.
Yeah,
And,
I
like,
don't doubt it.
But he went on to become a really good drummer. My friend who had to play the drums. He realized he loved drums more than he liked playing guitar. So
Well, that's cool.
something good came of it. Everyone else hated their instrument. I was fine because I already knew what I was playing. I just had to play it backwards.
Must have been worth it for your teacher for that one success story.
Oh, I'm sure she was probably like really proud of herself. And everyone, like 30 kids in the fucking class, one kid does really well. The other 29 kids are like, I fucking hate, like, why'd you do this to me? Why'd you, like, it's like you just cut me open, poured salt in my wound and closed it back up and said, see, it's fixed. It's like, you motherfucker, you caused the problems. Anyway, that's my unlucky story for now.
Well, if we're talking about my unlucky story, right? I'd say this is like, okay, so this is like these are multiple times this happened. Where, you know, have you ever brought food to your workstation, right? A desk or whatever,
yeah,
right? And you're about to sit down and eat, right? And let's say your clumsy oaf brain, right? You take your big fat elbow and you knock the plate down, and the food gets all on the ground, and you're sitting there crying, right? And then maybe in a fit of rage, you know, you start picking it back up, and you're like, you think to yourself, I'm gonna eat this anyway. You know what?
Oh no.
And maybe sometimes, you know, you spill drink as soon as you get it, you know. You spill it all over your desk. It's just like a
chain of events that happens often for you, I'm assuming.
Right.
The way you're describing it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd say you're pretty much on the ball with that one.
Speaking of, actually, I got like a government form or something that I had to like ask for and like go pick it up and everything. I filled it completely filled out. Then when I went to grab it, I fucking knocked a cup of water over and spilt it and just fucking completely ruined the whole form. It's just like a lot of work to fill all that out, and I just destroyed the whole thing. Water everywhere, the paper's fucking ruined. I have to now go and ask for a new one, and they're gonna ask, why do you need a new one? Well, my dumb little smooth brain fucking knocked a cup of water over and I ruined the filled out form. And it's just fucking gone now.
It's just gone.
I also, my current mouse pad, which is, I don't want to get rid of it because it's a relic that will be lost to time. It's a Mad Catz mouse pad from Mad Catz before they went bankrupt. I've spilt so many drinks on this that it used to be gray and orange, and now it's like a darker gray and red. I've spilled so much shit on it.
That's sad.
But it's washing machine. It's fine to put in the washing machine. Like, you can machine wash it. So I do. But now, like, the felt and the rubber on the bottom is like separating. It's just like, it's so decrepit and disgusting. Everything else about my setup is nice and clean. And then I have this disgusting, basically cum rag of a goddamn mouse pad, and it just, oh, it's nasty. It smells fine though. It looks like it smells like a cum rag, you know? It looks bad. It looks terrible.
Well, maybe you should be smarter and not so clumsy.
I haven't knocked anything over in a while. I think usually now it's like my cat knocks stuff over. When he jumps on my desk.
Your cat's
or I'll bump into my desk like when I'm not at it. Because I have my office space is very small, so I'll be moving something, I'll bump it, and like something might get knocked over, but it's never a liquid. I'm always cautious of liquids now. So
I'm always scared of liquids in general. Like, I spilled so many things over the years, so you just don't drink at all. Yeah. If we're talking about, I have another unlucky story. You were there for this too.
Yeah.
When I was moving back to Ontario, I had to sell my car, right? And then I sent it. I remember I sent it to the scrapyard. I drove all the way to the scrapyard, which is on the complete opposite side of town, and you can't walk back because there's a long highway over a stretch of water. There's no sidewalk, which they should fix, by the way. They should add a fucking sidewalk. I don't know why they just never, like, they make it impossible for you to to traverse unless you go all the way around this lake. So it's really dumb. It's just poorly thought out. But you know what?
Yeah.
Whatever. I go to the scrapyard. I sell it for $95. They take my car that I spent $900 on,
They give you
for
95 and
they gave me $95 for it.
It was for reference, and it'll make sense when you find out what car it was. But it was like a Saturn.
It was a 98 Saturn.
98 Saturn. And like, I forget what model of Saturn it was. What is it?
I forgot the number. It was like I don't know.
But it's like Saturn cars, if you know anything about cars, Saturn cars are like heralded as like some of the shittiest cars like ever.
They're reliable. Although, you know,
see, that's like from my car friends, they're like, oh, don't buy Saturn. They break down really easily and they deteriorate and people don't carry the parts for them often. And I was like, oh, okay. So I got I got Gray Car. That's the car I own. It's just called Gray Car. Also known as the 98 Civic. You drove like cross country with it. It worked, right?
I drove 18 hours in that car. A 98 Saturn. I drove 18 hours in it. And I got to your house. From Edmonton to where you live currently.
Kelowna. I've doxed myself already.
It's just doxed you. Yeah.
It's a big enough town that if you find me here, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Good for you. But I sold it for $95, right? But I also, the day before, I put it up on Kijiji, which if you don't know is like the Canadian equivalent to Craigslist.
Craigslist, yeah.
And I put it up there for sale for like $600, $400 or $600. And so I scrapped it. I somehow made my way back. It was one of the saddest walk backs to your apartment ever because I had to
take a taxi. Honestly, I thought you got a cab.
I'm surprised you even. I'm surprised you like I don't know. Maybe you thought like after I left I would have died. You know, like. Because, like, if you know where the scrapyard is, and then you know where your apartment is, it's impossible for me to walk back. And I had no money, and I thought they were going to give me cash, but they gave me a fucking check, and there's no banks around.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I thought they would have just paid you $95. Who the fuck writes a check for under $100?
Yeah, I don't know. So they gave me a check for $95, and I'm like, well, there's no banks around. I'm fucked. I mean, like, I'm walking around, right? Obviously, like, the bus takes change. I had only bills. I was pretty broke still. I had like maybe like $50 left. I don't know, something like really nothing, and I couldn't take money out. I couldn't. I was fucked essentially. I did. However, no, I didn't have any cash at all. I only had my card. But I went to an A&W. Right. I sat on the curb. I just ate my fucking burger. It was really sad. It was really windy. So everything was flying. Everything was flying away. Everything I had. I was just like, well, I sold my car. I have no way of getting back. Luckily, I found a bus that goes back to the other side of town, and the guy just let me ride for free. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. That's how I got back. But
probably
I was just
the same bus driver that I got, where one day the change meter was broken. So he said, yeah, it's free rides all day. And I was like, all right, perfect, thank you.
Perfect. I was just like, thank God. I was like, he saved my life. I mean, probably otherwise I
were homeless.
Probably.
Like, look at this homeless dude. He just spent his last fucking like $50 on Arby's.
Arby's.
We'll give them a ride.
Honestly, like, but okay, so I sold it for $95. I somehow got back, and what is it? The next day, the guy, some guy was like, "Oh, I'll buy it off you for like $600," and I'm like, "Fuck!" I'm like, I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And like, I was still gonna be in town, so like, I could have done it, but I was like, like I was like leaving like 2 days from then, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna have any time, right? Yeah. So it was just bad fucking luck. And obviously, like, you can't sell it because it's not your car.
Yeah, because I can't. There's the one thing that I thought, oh, I could just sell the car for you. But no, you have to sign off at the insurance company to transfer the papers over. So the owner has to be there in person. So when I bought my car used, I bought it outside of town. And I had to drive with the owner for like, they followed me in the car, and I had my friend's car, and we had to drive like an hour to the insurance company, the closest one, to sign the papers over. And it was so awkward because then we had to wait in line together for like 40 minutes. It sucks.
The guy
ended up buying a used car
didn't.
was so fucking hard.
The guy didn't care about the papers or whatever. He's just like, "Oh, I'll just buy it off you." I'm
That's
like,
a crime.
honestly,
That's
I was just like, if I hadn't sold my car, I would have been like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, take it."
sure. I'll do it.
But then, however, if he did something in that car, then I would have been fucked.
Yeah. They were gonna go fucking rob a bank with it. You dodged a bullet.
Yeah. So
that's actually sorry. Do you have anything else to go on that unlucky story?
in that story, no. But I remember one time I fell real far trying to get to the Dollarama next to your house. It docks you even more. You don't live in that apartment anymore, so it's fine.
No. Fuck, it's a shitty apartment. I'm glad we're out of there. The landlord ended up being really nice because I found out that the landlord, all the shitty rules the apartment had were by the property company that owned the complex, and the landlord was actually just the property manager. So he was like just a lackey. So like everything that he did was because he had to follow the rules, and like at the last day before I moved out, he just like said, you know what, we'll just like pretend like a bunch of this stuff didn't happen and you can just like leave. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Wow.
So he just waved a bunch, and I realized at the end, I'm like, yeah, most big apartments, the people that you deal with aren't the people that are really fucking with you. So be nice. They probably live in the apartments too. But
These people are. I'm sure they were nice. I never saw them, so
they were. I found out at the very end that our landlords were a gay couple. I had no idea. I knew that the landscape, like the groundskeeper, was a gay guy because he'd always flirt with me. Every time I like saw him, he'd always flirt with me. And then I realized that they had matching wedding rings. I was like, oh, interesting. All right. It was just like it was unexpected. I was like, congratulations.
Well, what do you know?
You know, that's some lore.
That's
I was gonna say, when you said I have two stories tying to your car story.
Okay.
One, I'll go first with the unregistered car committing a bank robbery. Someone was like, so you know how when people steal cars, in video games or movies, they'll just buy the whole car, but in real life, they'll usually, if someone steals a car and sells it, they'll disassemble the car and sell the individual parts. Someone was running an operation when I used to live on a farm. We had two properties for like growing stuff. One that was like right behind our house, and then one that was like about a 10-minute drive away. And we found out one day, because we wouldn't check there every day because it's just like fucking dirt and stuff. Someone had in the tree line had been driving cars through the field, parking them there, and then scrapping them and then taking them out. So one day when we went to go check like the area just normally for like growing shit, we found someone was there scrapping cars, and they left. They ran away. They left all the car there and all that because they couldn't drive it. And the cops came and were like, "Oh, awesome! We've been looking for this guy for like 2 years, and we had no idea that the whole time he was bringing cars there, like middle of the night, early morning, disassembling them, and then leaving, and not leaving anything there." And I was like, "Wow, that's crazy." And the other story was
that is fucking insane.
It was a lucky story and an unlucky story, but I won a phone. It was like a Samsung Galaxy, I think like 8, like the year after they came out. Like it was just like a giveaway from either my insurance provider or my like phone provider. Something that I pay for was like, "Oh, we're doing a raffle. You get a free entry," and I entered it. And I got a phone, so I had a phone to give away, like sell. So I'm like, I'm not gonna. It's shittier than the phone I have. Granted, my phone is also really shitty and like beat up now, so maybe it would have been worth it. But I took it. I'm like, oh, how do I sell a phone in box? Like, who's gonna buy a new phone from some random dude? It looks like I stole the phone. So I put it online. I call a few pawn shops. So the phone's value is about $700.
Oh shit!
At a retailer. I can't sell it for nearly that much. I take it to a pawn shop. And they said, "We'll buy it for $100." I'm like, "Okay, thanks." Hang up. I'm like, "Fuck you. What the hell are you doing? You're gonna mark this up for like $500?" So I'm like, okay, I'll sell it on Kijiji. I'll sell it on Craigslist. I'll sell it on Facebook. A bunch of people asked to buy it, and they tried to haggle me down to like $200. I'm like, no. One lady was like, I'll pay $500 for it. And that's the best offer I had. And I said, yeah, sure. I'm just going to wait until Friday. It was like a Tuesday or something. And if I don't get any better offers, I'll give it to you. Because I wanted to sell it for like full price because I already dropped it down. I think I was selling it for like $600, so $100 under asking. So I'll give you $500 for it. And I was like hurting. I needed to make rent that month because I just like I switched jobs, and the job I switched to wasn't on probation, so I didn't get a paycheck for like the first month.
Right.
So I'm like waiting. I'm like, I've got to pay rent. So I sold it. Didn't get any offers. As soon as I was getting back in my car to come home from selling this to this person at a fucking restaurant, like it was at like Tim Hortons, I get a text. Someone said, I'll pay $800 for it if you can hold it until Monday.
That is...
And I was just like, It wasn't nearly as bad as like the 95, but I remember that was just like literally the second I get in the car, it's sold, done deal, everything. Like, oh, if I just waited, like if I was just like 30 minutes late to that sale, I would have gotten... I was like, oh, fucking, that happens. I feel like that's happened to everyone that's ever tried to sell something online. It's like, it's always after you make the sale, someone's like, I'll pay more for it. Which that's happened to me too. I was trying to sell a chair, and some dude's like, I want to buy it for my kid, but I don't get off work until like next week. I'll like pay like half e-transfer and you can hold it. This one dude where I was trying to sell something to him, and he went to the wrong building. He said, and I was like, so, hey, do you want to come pick it up today? And he's like, yeah, sure. I'll be over in like 30 minutes. It's been an hour. I'm like, hey, did you come by? He's like, yeah, I drove to your building, but I couldn't find you. So I left. I went home. I'm like, you didn't text. I told you to text me when you're here. He's like, yeah, I couldn't see you. I'm like, no, can you read? Can you
text
read?
Me,
text me when you're
idiot.
here. I'm in a fucking, there's 5 giant apartments where I live. Of course you can't see me. There's like 600 people here, and I'm not outside. I hate
you
it.
Big dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
These people are so smart.
Yeah. Anyway, do you have any other unlucky stories?
Other
than meeting me.
I told you quite a bit. I gave you lots of reasons.
Then I will share the climactic story for the day. Hold up, stop, wait a second. We got a word from our sponsor for this episode. You probably heard of them. Maybe rings a bell. Skillshare.com, the online learning platform with tens of thousands of free online classes. You said free? Yeah, I said free, because with our link in the description below, if you're on YouTube, if you're on audio platforms, don't worry, we got you covered. You use the link skillshare.eqcm.net/Carny. That's Carny, Carny. You're going to get 2 months of Skillshare absolutely free. Now, normally, Skillshare is going to cost you $8.25 USD per month. Not a bad deal, right? For knowledge, priceless. But with our offer, 2 months of free Skillshare, skillshare.eqcm.net/Carny, it is literally priceless. There's no fucking price. It's $0. You get free knowledge. You know Ty Lopez, that fucking dude with the Lamborghini and the books in his garage? You don't need that shit. He said knowledge is books in your garage. Nah, knowledge is Skillshare 2 months for free. That's free knowledge. You can learn anything you want. There's classes on cooking, science, fucking movie making. There's podcasting ones. We do podcasts. You're listening to one right now. You could be just like us. You could be little degenerate baby boys doing a podcast just like us. All you gotta do is take the Skillshare course for free. It's free. It's free, Skillshare. It's free. It's free. 2 months. Go on, click the link. Type it in on your fucking browser if you don't have the link handy. It's skillshare.eqcm.net/Carny. All right. That's 2 months of free Skillshare. After those 2 months, $8.25 USD if you want to keep going. But if you don't want to, you can cancel anytime free of charge. You can just cancel it. You could take the 2 months for free, get your knowledge, and get out of here if you want. I don't care. Follow Follow your goddamn dreams, man. If you want to keep learning, it's only $8.25 USD a month. If you're Canadian like us, it's $11.75 Canadian dollars. So if you're interested, just fucking do it. Click the link below and get your Skillshare 2 months free. All right, back to the show. Bye.
The climactic story. Yeah, this is something I haven't heard, so I'm excited.
So my cat was here. He left now. Yeah. But yesterday I was taking my cat out for a walk, like I usually do. For context, he used to be an outdoor cat. He was oh shit. It's gross.
That's all. That's disgusting.
Oh, I felt like I almost threw up in my mouth.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Can't have you dying on the podcast.
We picked him up as a stray, and I've had him for 6 years. But for those 6 years, he was a barn cat because I lived on a farm until I moved into the city, a different province. Big move. So he was living with my mom at her barn, outdoor cat. Never had to stay inside. Could do whatever he wants, go outside for however long he wants. He always could come back in and have a warm bed and food and all that shit. So he's pretty like a free roam kind of cat. I moved him to my apartment. I live in a city now. He can't go out on his own because A, he doesn't know where the fuck he is, and 2, I live next to... Somehow, everywhere I've lived in this city, I've always been in walking distance of a highway. So I definitely can't let him outside because he'll just walk out. The only cars he's seen have been our cars driving up to the driveway, which go about 10 kilometers an hour, and will stop if we see him. When cars are going like 60, 70 kilometers an hour, they're not going to be able to stop in time for a little tiny gray cat on a fucking gray pavement street. So yeah, he's not allowed to go outside on his own, but he wants to go out. So I walk him on a harness, and he has a collar that's quick release in case he gets caught on something. He won't strangle himself. All this comes back later, but the harness has 2 straps that are in the front of him. So by his neck, between his neck and his front feet. And then the other part of it is a loop that is based on tension. So it's not strap, it's a circle hoop. And if I pull on the leash, the tether, it'll tighten up so that if he tries to run forward, it'll tighten up and he'll get stopped and he can't move his legs. So it's to prevent him from running off. But then it's super comfortable for him so he doesn't have to have 2 straps like pressed up against his ribs. So it's comfy. It's never been a problem except it's possible to wiggle out of. But I'm taking him out for a walk. He gets scared. He wiggles out. And something that obviously the designers had no idea is that if he ran towards me, the tension would completely release and he could get out of it immediately. So the front strap, he just has to like squeeze his ears and head through there, which is probably not comfortable, but he did it. So he just, in one swift motion, he jumped backwards, the whole thing came off, and he ran away because he's fucking scared of whatever scared him. I don't know what it was, probably a bug. And he's gone. So I'm in my backyard, and my cat just ran away into this big beat by my house, separating my yard from my neighbor's yard is a big hedge and then a chain link fence. And I know raccoons live in there, and our neighbor just said, don't let your cat in there. The raccoons bit my cat, blah, blah, blah. It sucked. I'm like, oh, great. He just ran right in there. It's the daytime, probably no raccoons. There weren't any raccoons. That was good. But now I can't get in there because he's a fucking cat who's like maybe like 20 pounds. And I'm like a giant 6'3", like big guy. So I can't fucking crawl in there with him. So he's gone now. I'm listening to him. I'm like calling for him, shaking his treat bag, just trying to get him to come out on his own free will because I can't do anything else. And I'm following him through the hedges because of his bell on his collar. Then eventually the bell stops ringing. I'm like, oh shit. He's either taking a nap or his collar snapped off. So I wait for 30 minutes. Nothing. Like he probably is sleeping in there, in which case I'm not getting him out. Or he ran away, in which case I need to start looking elsewhere. So I go ask I've never talked to the neighbor behind me before. I did mention to Andy the other day, I listened to them fighting from my window. But I walked over and turns out he's a very nice Chinese man, and he was doing gardening. And he said, oh, I think I heard your cat. And I'm like, okay, great. Can I look and be like by your fence and see if he's there? And he's like, yeah, sure. I haven't seen him, but I heard like a cat running around. I'm like, okay, perfect. I look, he's not there. The other neighbors or some whatever, they're outside as well. So like to the right of him, and they say, "Oh, we saw your cat. He's gray, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He ran up along our fence and tried to get into our yard. So he dug underneath the Chinese guy's fence, or like slid under the fence, and then tried to get through another fence into the other people's yard. So it didn't work. So he ran back that way. And then I talked to them, like the one woman there, she was a little younger. And she's like, "You want me to help you look for your cat?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, that'd be great." Gave her my phone number. So she's driving around the block to see if he got like really far out. Now I'm going back to ask another neighbor where she pointed where that he could have got into that person's yard. Have you seen my fucking cat? And then my neighbor upstairs, who's barbecuing this whole time, watching me look for my cat, he's like, "Hey, you lost your cat?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I thought you were like playing with him. I'm sorry. Here, I'll keep an eye out for him." So now I have the Chinese guy, his neighbors, that woman who's on patrol, Chinese guy's like watching in his yard, and the fucking neighbor above me is like has a bird's eye view of like the whole area. And I'm looking for him. And my other neighbor, so now I'm walking along the highway to go to the other person's house because I have to like walk all the way around. And then my across the hall neighbor, absolutely lovely guy, big stoner though, but he's passed on his couch with his window open, and my cat is like yelling at him. It's from his, so my cat's like in his yard yelling at him. I'm like, "Oh shit." So I can't get him to like try and open the door and let the cat in and just take the cat because he's out. And I'm like, "Oh shit, what do we do?" So I try to get my cat, and he's still fucking super scared. He has no idea what he's doing. I go to grab him. I'm able to pet him once, and then a car drives by, and he gets spooked, and he fucking runs off again. And then he runs back into the fucking bushes. And so the neighbor upstairs is like, "I see the fucking cat." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. He just ran away from me." It's like, "Oh shit. Well, I'll watch him there if you want to try and get something like pull him out with." So I'm like, what am I gonna do? There's nothing. I can't stick something in there to scoop him out. He's too far in. Like, he hasn't eaten his dinner yet. So I take his plate and his fucking canned food and the whole thing that he comes when he hears me scraping the food out of his little cat food container. So I set the whole thing up. I already had a bunch of toys and other shit out there to try and coax him back. And he comes to the food, but he's still super scared. So I slap the food out on the plate. I put it there. He bolts out as fast as he can to try and like grab the food and run. And I just fucking tackle him basically and grab him, and I just hold him as fucking tight as possible. He's squirming around screaming. My neighbor upstairs is laughing because it looks fucking hilarious. It looks like I just tried to body slam my cat, and I'm dragging him inside, and I fucking throw him in, and I finally caught him after about 2 hours of searching, and it was starting to rain. It was like the worst situation I've ever had to deal with my fucking cat.
That's awful.
And it was funny because I was just before that I was on the phone with my mom, and just after that I was talking to my girlfriend, and I had to explain to both of them how I lost my cat, and like how, like, what happened? Did you find him? I'm like, yes. There's a fucking 4-person manhunt, and we finally got him, and he's a fucking idiot, and now he's never allowed outside again until we get a new place, because this is just not working.
It's just not worth it.
Next time I get a apartment, I'm just gonna look for something that has a yard. Like, because the yard I have is shared and too close to a fucking highway. And have you ever seen those, like, they're called like catios, but they're basically like a little McDonald's play place for cats with like a chicken wire fence. If I could put that here, I can, but you have to like plant stakes into the ground, and there's like about 2 meters of cement outside of each person's yard to like the shared part. So I would basically have to go outside of my property line and just block the whole fucking path for everybody else to put my cat shit there. I'm like, and those things are worth like $500 too. I'm like, fuck that. I'm just gonna look for a place that has a backyard, and he can go in there next time. But for now, he's fucking in lockdown.
Lockdown forever.
Lockdown forever. He doesn't fucking understand angry because he's a fucking cat. Like, he doesn't understand anything other than like affection or like ignoring him. So I was just like, I was so pissed. I'm like, you little fucker, you little shithead. Oh my God, like, God, you little shit. And he's just sitting there like, let me outside. I want to go outside again, please. He's like sitting at the door screaming. He's like, please let me outside again. I want to go play. I'm like, Oh my god, you're fucking stupid. I love you, but you're a fucking idiot. Anyway,
That poor little bastard.
that's what happened yesterday. That was my cat story. If that sounded incoherent at any point in time, listeners, that's because yeah, I couldn't explain it better if I tried. It was so all over the place of constantly everyone's calling me saying like, hey, I'm driving here, and like, oh, I've like during that story, I think I was on the phone with like two people like constantly back and forth of, did you find him yet? I'm gonna look here now. Or have you looked here yet? I'm gonna look here now. I'm like, no. And they're all like out on patrol driving. And it turns out he never left like the fucking block. And they're like really far out searching the neighborhood. I just felt so bad. That my little fucking little rat bastard cat caused so much stress.
Hey, they found, you can never be for, certain. So,
you can't. I think it helped because this apartment complex and those neighbors the Chinese guy doesn't have any pets as far as I can tell, but they had pets, they had a dog. So like everyone in our apartment owns a cat. I found out it's a cat-friendly apartment, no dogs, but cats are allowed. Every single person in this apartment has a cat. So everyone sympathizes with my cat got out, he wasn't supposed to get out. Or she wasn't supposed to get out, whatever.
Honestly, with this quarantine, it's probably the most exciting thing that's happened in a while.
Oh, I'm sure. It was so funny when I remember I tried to like, I haven't really had any social interaction with anyone that I haven't been in quarantine with. So when like I'm in a social interaction, the Chinese guy, I tried to show him a picture of my cat because he hadn't seen it, and I tried to like thank him, and I tried to shake his hand or something, and then he did like the too slow kind of movement because he's like, oh wait, we're not supposed to touch each other. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. And so it just resulted to, I'm sure seems super fucking insensitive, but from like when I was in Japan, every time I'd say thank you, you'd bow. So I bowed. And I'm sure you're just like, what the fuck are you doing? But it was just like the first thing that came to my mind. And I'm like, how do I say thank you instead of like shaking your hand? Like, okay, I'll just bow. Wow. It was so bad. I've like internally just cringed. I'm like, I did it subconsciously. I'm like, oh.
That must be. That's like that happens. Oh my god.
I do the same thing when I go to the Japanese restaurant. I eat out a lot, and then every time I walk out the door, I realize that it's owned by a Korean family. So I don't know if that's like part of Korean culture. Because in Japan, like after every restaurant, the server will bow and you'll bow, and the chef, if they're visible, will bow too. So everyone just does it. It's like a sign of respect. But I don't know what they do in Korea because I've never been to Korea. So I just like maybe either it comes off as okay, or they think we're Japanese, and I'm just like, like I know the Korean, I know they are, but it's like comes off as like, oh, you stupid fucking white man.
Or like that no, that's so awful. I can't even imagine how you like that is a cringe moment. Or like when you talk to someone and you think they wish you like a good day, like, oh, hope you have a good day, and then you say you too, but they didn't say have a good day. You just say you too.
I've done that so many times at movie theaters. Enjoy your movie, you too. Like,
yeah, that one too. That's such a big one. Oh, it's so. I always want to like die inside. I'm like, you're just so used to saying like have a nice day, or like have a good day, you too, and then someone says enjoy your movie, you're like you too.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do it. It's so easy.
Because it's usually when I have an interaction, it's like, oh, have a good one, or oh, like thank you. It's like, oh, thank you too.
They're probably used to it.
I think I've had someone. It wasn't to me, but it was someone else in my party that said that. And then they said, enjoy your movie. And the guy just straight up said, I can't. It was so fucking funny. Like, he did it as a joke. Like, it wasn't supposed to be malicious, but it was just so funny. He just kind of chuckles like, I can't. I can't enjoy the movie. I'm sitting here serving fucking popcorn. like ouch.
Oh. Okay. I think they're so used to it, they have to joke around about it. Like, it's just like, it happens to, I don't know anyone that hasn't happened to. Well, if they go to the movie and they say you too, and you see you too, that happens so much. I'm certain. You know, because I have to ask my partner now because they work at a movie theater, I have to ask them. I'm gonna be like, have you ever said enjoy your movie and someone said you too? I'm gonna ask them after this.
It's like a daily occurrence, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll have to update the answer next time on the next podcast.
There we go. This is a free current theme. Tune in next week and we'll give you a we'll give you an update on the burning question. Anyway, I think that's it. You have any closing remarks? Closing statements?
No, I'm glad you have your cat, your demon Dennis the Menace cat. Oh.
I'm gonna throw him outside in the trash can.
That's good.
Get a new one. This one's broken, get a new one.
No. I am simply head empty, smooth brain right now. I woke up like 3 hours ago and it's like fucking 9 p.m. It's awful.
It's terrible.
I have to take a shit and I'm waiting for you to finish your story.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Andy's gonna go take a shit now. So see you next time. Bye.
Bye.